Hello, and welcome to another 5 Good Minutes, where I attempt to answer your questions in 5 minutes or less. Today's question is, should Christians celebrate or participate in Halloween? Boy, you guys are good with these hot topic questions. Let's just say that many different Christians have a variety of different opinions on this, and we're probably not all going to agree, and that's okay. But in order to come to a right conclusion or a right opinion, I think it needs to be backed, one, with a proper context of history, and secondly, what does God's Word have to say about this, like we ask about everything? First, let's start with a little bit of history and context. The Celtic and Druid people celebrated the end of their harvest season with a festival known as Samhain. It was also known as their New Year, and it was the day in which they believed that the dead roamed the earth. So they came up with bonfires. They lit bonfires to drive away the evil spirits and ghosts of the dead, and they did all this to protect the living. Well, as Christianity and the Catholic Church spread throughout Europe, these worldviews collided. The Catholic Church did not want people participating in this practice of Samhain, where they would drive away evil spirits, so they came up with their own alternative on the same day. And November 1st in the Catholic Church became known as All Saints' Day. And the day before was known as All Hallows' Eve, or Halloween, which it became later to be known as the words morphed into it. So based on that history, Halloween is actually the first Halloween alternative. And so Halloween doesn't necessarily have a lot of pagan or evil beginnings, but really what Halloween has become or morphed into is a blending of different pagan rituals with this concept of the dead in the Catholic Church, of celebrating the martyrs that had gone on before. Commercialized Halloween has become this blending of pagan stuff. But today's Halloween has morphed into monsters and goblins and witches and glorifying sins such as murder and blood and gore. Those things have been added to Halloween, but it was not originally the purpose of it. So is it sinful to celebrate or participate in this? Well, again, now with that history, now we go to God's Word. And I'm sure you already know that Halloween came long after God's Word was written, so the Bible doesn't specifically mention Halloween, does it? So let's ask, does the Bible condemn anywhere a little girl dressing up like a princess to go get candy in her neighborhood? No. Or a little boy who dresses up like Superman to go get candy in his neighborhood? Of course not. There's nothing sinful in those actions at all. If you're going to dress up your children to go trick-or-treating or to go get candy in your neighborhood, then don't go with the pagan spirit of the day and don't do something that violates God's Word. Whether they're for you eat or drink or participate in getting candy in your neighborhood dressed up as a superhero, do it all for the glory of God. And that is the principle that drives us in everything. Christians should avoid things that the Bible condemns, like glorifying sinful actions like murder or violence, or celebrating gore, horror, things that glorify that kind of stuff. The Bible also tells us not to participate in witchcraft and to be aware of and on guard against Satan and his demons. So for a Christian to dress up like Satan or a demon, that's common sense. In spite of all that, it comes down to a matter of the Christian conscience. If your conscience does not allow you to participate, then don't. Because to go against conscience is neither right nor safe. And there's actually a man who said that, who made October 31st very popular. And that gives us another reason altogether to celebrate on that day. This coming October 31st is when Martin Luther sparked the fires of Reformation as he nailed his 95 Theses to the castle church door in Wittenberg, Germany. That is something we're celebrating, as it brought the greatest revival and reclamation of the gospel to the world. So, whether you call it Reformation Day or you go out getting candy in your neighborhood, let's just say this. It is also a wonderful opportunity, whether you dress up or not, to share Christ with your neighbors. This is the one day of year where they go to you. So make the most of every opportunity. Be ready to give an answer, as Peter tells us, to share of the hope that lies within us. This has been another 5 Good Minutes.